The key card beeped green. Anna Reeves pushed open the heavy hotel door, exhausted from her double shift at the restaurant. Room 1623. At least that's what she thought the front desk clerk had said through his thick accent. The doors swung open. Everything stopped. A woman's naked back. Pale skin catching the dim amber light. A man's hands gripping her waist, strong tattooed hands covered in black ink that looked like dragons crawling up his forearms. The woman's head thrown back in pleasure, dark hair cascading down her spine. And him. Even from behind, even in this moment, Anna could see the power radiating from him. Broad shoulders, muscled back, black hair slightly disheveled. The air smelled of expensive cologne, sweat, and something darker, something dangerous that made her skin prickle with warning. Time fractured into slow motion. The man's head turned, just slightly, just enough. Their eyes met. His were black, impossibly black, like staring into a void that wanted to swallow her whole. No embarrassment, no surprise, just a cold, calculating assessment that stripped her bare in 3 seconds flat. A slight lift of his eyebrow. The corner of his mouth twitched, not quite a smile. He looked at her like he was memorizing every inch of her face. The spell broke. "Oh my God, I'm so sorry," Anna gasped, stumbling backward. Her purse slipped from her shoulder, spilling across the hallway floor. Lipstick, a small Bible, loose change scattering everywhere. She didn't stop to gather anything. She ran. Her sneakers squeaked against the polished marble floor as she sprinted toward the elevators, her heart hammering so hard she thought it might burst through her chest. Behind her, she heard a door open wider. A man's voice, smooth, accented, amused. Wait. She didn't wait. She slammed the elevator button 5 times, praying, actually praying out loud. Please God, please God, please. The elevator doors opened. She threw herself inside, jabbing the lobby button repeatedly until the doors finally, mercifully, closed. Only then did she let herself breathe. "What was I thinking?" she whispered to her reflection in the mirrored wall. Her dark skin was flushed, eyes wide with panic. She looked terrified. She was terrified. "Room 1623, he said. 1623, didn't he?" She fumbled for her phone with shaking hands and checked her booking confirmation email. "Room 1631. Oh no. Oh no, no, no." The elevator descended, and with each floor reality crashed down harder. She'd just walked in on people doing. She couldn't even finish the thought. Her cheeks burned with shame. Her pastor uncle would be horrified. Her mother would faint. Good Christian girls didn't end up in situations like this. The lobby was nearly empty at 2 a.m. Anna rushed to the front desk, keeping her head down, and quietly asked for her correct room key. The clerk didn't seem to notice anything wrong. She grabbed the new key card and made her way to the correct floor, to the correct room, and locked herself inside. Only then did she realize she'd left her purse behind, her Bible, her ID, everything. For floors above, Kang Hyun-jae stood at the window of room 1623, buttoning his shirt with methodical precision. The woman from before had been dismissed, paid, dressed, and escorted out by his men. She was already forgotten. But the girl in the doorway, she was burned into his mind. He'd built an empire in Busan's underworld by reading people in seconds, knowing their weaknesses, their desires, their fears. It was a skill that had kept him alive through gang wars, police investigations, and countless assassination attempts. That girl, with her dark skin glowing warm under the hallway lights, her wide brown eyes full of shock and innocence, her modest clothes, and the pure terror on her face, she was something he'd never encountered before. Innocence. Real, genuine innocence. In his world that didn't exist. Everyone had a price. Everyone had darkness hiding beneath their skin. But when their eyes met, just for those few seconds, he'd seen something that didn't belong in his world at all. And he wanted it. He wanted her. Sir, his second in command, De Young, stood in the doorway. Tall, efficient, deadly. The merchandise shipment has been secured. We're ready to move. Find her. Hyun-jae's voice was quiet. Dangerously quiet. Dae-young paused. Sir, the girl who is just here. Find out everything about her. Name, address, family, where she works, where she prays. Everything. The girl who walked in by mistake? Dae-young's eyebrows rose slightly. In 5 years of service, he'd never seen his boss interested in anyone beyond physical transactions. Sir, she was clearly. She left this. Hyun-jae held up a small purse. He'd already gone through it. Driver's license, Anna Reeves, age 26. A worn Bible with highlighted passages. A work ID badge from Elena's Bistro. Receipts from a church donation box. She belongs to me now. Sir, with respect, she's just a... Hyun-jae turned and Dae-young fell silent immediately. Those black eyes held something dangerous, something possessive that made even a seasoned enforcer take a step back. Find her. Each word was a command that could not be disobeyed. Dae-young bowed his head. Yes, sir. Anna couldn't sleep. She lay in the hotel bed, staring at the ceiling, replaying those 3 seconds over and over. Those eyes, that look like he could see straight through her clothes, her skin, into her very soul. She'd come to San Francisco for a church choir convention, 3 days of worship, fellowship, and singing praises. Her uncle, Pastor Gabriel, had paid for her hotel room as a gift. She was supposed to be safe here, protected. Instead, she'd stumbled into that. Forgive me, Lord, she whispered into the darkness. I didn't mean to see. I didn't mean to. But even as she prayed, she couldn't shake the image, couldn't shake the feeling of those black eyes following her even now. Her phone buzzed. A text from her mother. Asterisk, how's the convention, baby? Remember to stay humble and keep God first. Love you, asterisk. Tears pricked Anna's eyes. Her mother had worked 3 jobs to raise her and her 2 younger brothers after their father left. Church was everything to their family. Faith was their foundation. Anna had never even kissed a boy, had never done anything more scandalous than sneak a romance novel under her bed as a teenager. And now, she squeezed her eyes shut and tried to pray again. But all she could see were those dark, knowing eyes. All she could feel was the electricity that had sparked between them in that brief moment. Like recognizing something. Like being seen. No, she told herself firmly. Absolutely not. You're going home tomorrow. You'll never see him again. This was just a mistake. A stupid, embarrassing mistake. She pulled the covers up to her chin and tried to believe her own words. But somewhere deep inside, in a place she didn't want to acknowledge, a small voice whispered, liar. In a penthouse across the city, Kang Hyun-jae sat in his office, Anna's driver's license on his desk. He traced his finger across her photo, a simple DMV picture. But even in that unflattering image, something glowed. Something pure. His phone buzzed. Dae-young's report was already coming in. Anna Reeves, born in Detroit, moved to San Francisco 5 years ago. Works 2 jobs, waitress at Elena's Bistro and part-time choir singer at Grace Point Community Church. No criminal record, no debt, no boyfriends on social media. She lived quietly, sent money home to her family every month, and spent her free time volunteering at the church. A church girl. A real church girl. Hyun-jae smiled slowly. It wasn't a kind smile. She belongs to me now, he murmured to the empty room. She just doesn't know it yet. He made a call, gave orders, set plans in motion. Anna Reeves thought she could run, thought she could forget. She had no idea who he was. No idea what he was capable of. No idea that when Kang Hyun-jae decided he wanted something, he never, ever let it go. And he wanted her. The night had passed quickly and all Anna wanted was to forget the image stuck in her head. The next morning, Anna couldn't focus on the hymns. Sunday morning service at Grace Point Community Church should have been her sanctuary. Instead, she stood in the choir loft, her voice barely a whisper while the other singers praised around her. The organ swelled. The congregation clapped. Pastor Gabriel, her uncle, preached about resisting temptation with his usual fire and conviction. But all Anna could think about were those black eyes. 3 days had passed since the hotel incident. 3 days since she'd returned to her normal life, her tiny studio apartment in the Mission District, her waitressing shifts, her choir practices. She'd thrown herself into routine, trying to scrub the memory away with prayer and work. It wasn't working. The devil comes in attractive packages. Pastor Gabriel's voice boomed through the sanctuary. He was a large man with a commanding presence, his dark suit immaculate, his graying hair perfectly styled. He tempts us with worldly desires, with forbidden fruits that poison our souls. Anna's stomach twisted. Was this a sign? Did her uncle somehow know? No. Impossible. She hadn't told anyone. Not her mother. Not her best friend, Tessa. Not even in her private prayers. Some shames were too deep to confess. After service, Pastor Gabriel pulled her aside in his office. The room smelled of old books and furniture polish. Biblical verses hung framed on every wall. "Baby girl, you seem distracted lately." His voice was gentler now, concerned. "Everything all right?" "I'm fine, Uncle Gabriel. Just tired from the convention." The lie tasted bitter. He studied her with eyes that had counseled troubled souls for 30 years. "You know you can tell me anything, right? The world out there." He gestured toward the window overlooking the streets of San Francisco. "It's getting darker, more dangerous, especially in this neighborhood." "What do you mean?" Pastor Gabriel sighed heavily, moving to his desk. He seemed older suddenly, burdened. "There's been activity. Bad people moving in. I've heard rumors about gang violence, drug trafficking. Even heard some Korean mob families are expanding their territory." He fixed her with a stern look. "I need you to be careful, Anna. No going out late at night. No talking to strangers. And absolutely stay away from those clubs and bars downtown." "I always do, Uncle Gabriel." "I know you do, baby. You're a good girl." "I just worry." He pulled her into a hug. "Your mama would never forgive me if something happened to you on my watch." Anna hugged him back, guilt eating at her. If only he knew how close she'd already come to that dark world. As she left his office, she didn't notice the black Mercedes parked across the street. Didn't see the man in the driver's seat taking photos with a telephoto lens. Kang Hyun-jae studied the photographs spread across his desk. Anna leaving church in a modest yellow dress. Anna at the bistro, smiling at customers. Anna at a grocery store, carefully checking prices. Anna laughing with an older woman, her mother, according to the report. Dae-young stood at attention nearby. She lives alone in a studio apartment. Rent is $1,400 a month, which she struggles to make. She sends approximately $500 home to Detroit each month to support her mother and 2 younger brothers. No boyfriend, no social life beyond church activities. "Where does she work tonight?" Hyun-jae's voice was casual, but his eyes never left the photographs. "Elena's Bistro. She has the closing shift, ends at midnight." "And the church?" "The pastor." Dae-young shifted uncomfortably. "Sir, there's something you should know. Grace Point Community Church, Pastor Gabriel Reeves's church, received a significant donation last year. $200,000 from a shell corporation." Hyun-jae looked up sharply. "Which corporation?" "One of ours, sir." "Well, technically one of the Lim family's corporations." The donation was processed through the Lims. Hyun-jae's jaw tightened. The Lim family was a rival mafia organization, always testing boundaries, always pushing into his territory. Why would they donate to a church? Money laundering, most likely. The church used the funds to renovate their building and expand their community programs. "We believe Pastor Gabriel has no idea where the money really came from." This complicated things. If Anna's uncle was unknowingly connected to the Lims, that made her a potential target or a potential leverage point. Either way, she was in danger. Double her security detail, Hyun-jae ordered. I want eyes on her 24/7. And find out everything about the Lim family's interest in that church. Sir, may I speak freely? Hyun-jae nodded. This girl, she's nobody. A waitress, a church singer. Why are we dedicating resources to? The question died as Hyun-jae stood, his presence filling the room like gathering storm clouds. Because I said so. That's all you need to know. Dae-jung bowed quickly. Yes, sir. After he left, Hyun-jae returned to the photographs. He picked up one in particular, Anna outside the church, sunlight catching her smile as she helped an elderly woman down the steps. There was such genuine kindness in her expression, such light. His world was built on violence, control, and darkness. He'd taken his father's struggling operation and turned it into an empire through calculated brutality. He'd killed men, destroyed families, made people disappear. He was damned, and he'd accepted that long ago. But looking at Anna Reeves' smile, he felt something he hadn't felt in 15 years. Want. Not just physical desire, though that burned in him too, but something deeper. He wanted to possess that light. Wanted to keep it for himself. Wanted to see if he could touch something pure without destroying it. Probably not. But he was going to try anyway. The dinner rush at Elena's bistro was brutal. Anna's feet ached, her back hurt, and she'd been yelled at by 3 different customers over things that weren't her fault. By the time midnight rolled around, she was exhausted and ready to collapse. You okay, honey? Elena, the owner, was a tough Korean woman in her 60s who'd run the bistro for 30 years. She treated Anna like a daughter. You look tired. I'm fine, Elena. Just a long day. You work too hard, young girl. You should be out having fun, not working double shifts. Elena pressed a container of leftover food into her hands. Take this. And take tomorrow off. You need rest. I can't afford. Paid day off. Don't argue with me. Anna hugged her gratefully. Thank you. She left through the back door, stepping into the alley behind the bistro. It was dark, illuminated only by a single flickering streetlight. The night air was cool, carrying the smell of garbage and car exhaust. Anna was halfway to the street when she heard footsteps behind her. She walked faster. The footsteps matched her pace. Her heart started hammering. Pastor Gabriel's warnings echoed in her mind. She reached for her phone, but before she could dial, a hand grabbed her arm. Anna Reeves. She spun around. 2 men stood behind her. Both Asian, both wearing expensive suits that looked completely out of place in this rundown alley. The one holding her arm had a scar running down his cheek. Let go of me. She tried to pull away, but his grip tightened. We just want to talk, Scarface said, but his smile was predatory. You know someone we're interested in. A man from the hotel. I don't know anything. I don't know anyone. Let me go. The second man moved closer, reaching into his jacket. Anna saw the gun handle and her blood turn to ice. This was it. She was going to die in an alley behind a bistro. Her mother would never know what happened. Her brothers would cry. Pastor Gabriel would blame himself. God, please. A car engine roared. Headlights flooded the alley, blinding everyone. A black SUV screeched to a stop, and suddenly there were more men, bigger men, pouring out. Anna heard shouting in Korean, heard the sound of fists hitting flesh. Someone grabbed her and she screamed. It's all right. You're safe now. The voice was calm, professional. She looked up to see a tall Korean man in a suit, different from the others, with kind eyes. I'm Dae-jung. I work for someone who wants to ensure your safety. Who? What's happening? I don't understand. The fight was over in seconds. The 2 men who'd grabbed her were on the ground, groaning. The SUV's back door opened and a figure stepped out. Even in the darkness, she knew him. Hyun-jae. He wore a black suit that probably cost more than her yearly rent. His hair was perfectly styled. His face was as beautiful and terrifying as she remembered. He walked toward her with the confidence of a man who owned the entire city. "Hello again, Anna." His English was accented but perfect, his voice smooth like whiskey. "I apologize for the dramatic rescue, but it seems we need to talk." Anna's legs felt weak. "You? How did you? How did I find you? How did I know you'd be in danger?" He smiled slightly. "I make it my business to know everything, especially about things that belong to me." "I don't belong to. Those men work for the Lim family. They would have killed you tonight. Or worse. Your uncle's church has become entangled in something dangerous, which means you're in danger too." He stepped closer, and she could smell his cologne, could see the intensity in those black eyes. "You have two choices, Anna Reeves. You can get in my car and let me protect you, or you can refuse, and I'll have my men escort you home anyway. But either way, from this moment forward, you're under my protection." "I don't need your protection. I don't even know you." "Yes, you do." He reached out, gently tucking a strand of her hair behind her ear. The gesture was intimate, possessive. "You've been thinking about me for 3 days, just like I've been thinking about you. Don't lie to yourself." Anna's face burned. How did he know? How could he possibly? Sirens wailed in the distance. "We need to go," Dae-young said urgently. "Police are coming." Hyun-jae held out his hand. "Come with me, Anna. I'll explain everything. And I promise I won't hurt you." She should run, should scream for help, should do anything except take the hand of a dangerous man who'd somehow inserted himself into her life. But the men on the ground had guns. Her uncle was involved in something terrible without knowing it. And those eyes, those impossibly dark eyes, were looking at her like she was the most valuable thing in the world. Against every instinct, every prayer, every lesson her mother had taught her, Anna took his hand. The moment their skin touched, she knew she'd made a choice she could never take back. Hyun-jae's smile widened. "Good girl." He led her to the SUV, his hand warm and firm around hers. As they drove away, Anna looked back to see police cars flooding the alley, their red and blue lights painting the darkness. She was in a car with a mobster, a criminal, a man who'd been watching her, following her, inserting himself into her life. And God help her, she wasn't sure she wanted to escape. The penthouse was nothing like Anna expected. She'd imagined something cold and sterile, a criminal's lair filled with weapons and dark secrets. Instead, she found herself in a space that looked like it belonged in an architectural magazine. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the San Francisco skyline. Minimalist furniture in whites and grays. Subtle lighting that made everything feel warm and intimate. Beautiful. Dangerous. Just like the man who owned it. "Sit." Hyun-jae gestured to a leather sofa. "Would you like something to drink? Water? Tea?" "Answers," Anna said, her voice shaking despite her attempt at bravery. "I want answers. Who are you? Why am I here? What do those men want with my uncle's church?" He smiled, a real smile this time, not the predatory one from before. "There's the fire I saw in your eyes." "Good. I was worried you might faint." "I don't faint." "No, I'm learning you don't." He moved to a bar cart and poured 2 glasses of water, bringing one to her. Their fingers brushed as she took it, and that electric current sparked again. "My name is Kang Hyun-jae. I run a, let's call it a business empire, with interests in real estate, entertainment, and imports. You're a criminal. I prefer entrepreneur, but yes, some of my business dealings exist in gray areas." He sat across from her, close enough to touch, but maintaining a respectful distance. "The men who attacked you work for the Lim family, a rival organization. They've been trying to expand into my territory for months." "What does that have to do with my uncle's church?" Hyun-jae's expression darkened. "Last year, the Lim family donated $200,000 to Grace Point Community Church through a shell corporation. Your uncle likely believes it came from a legitimate donor. It didn't. They're using the church to launder money." Anna's hand flew to her mouth. "Oh my God. Uncle Gabriel doesn't know." He would never. I believe you. But the Limps don't care. They saw you with me at the hotel. Or rather, their informants did. They think you're connected to me now, which makes you useful. They were going to kidnap you tonight. Use you to pressure your uncle into helping them or to get to me. Possibly both. This is insane. Anna stood, pacing. I can't. This isn't my life. I sing in a choir. I serve food. I'm nobody. You're not nobody to me. The words hung in the air between them. Anna turned to face him. Why? Why do you care? You don't know me. I'm just some girl who walked into the wrong room. Hyun-jae stood slowly, moving toward her with the grace of a predator. But there was something else in his eyes now, something vulnerable hiding beneath the danger. Do you believe in fate, Anna? I believe in God's plan. Then perhaps your God has a sense of humor. He stopped inches from her, close enough that she could feel the heat radiating from his body. I've lived in darkness for 15 years. I've done things that would make you run screaming. I've built an empire on blood and fear. And then he reached out, his fingers hovering near her cheek, but not quite touching. You walked into my room with your innocent eyes and your Bible in your purse, and something in me woke up. That's not, her voice came out as a whisper. That's not fate. That's just coincidence. Then explain why I can't stop thinking about you. Why your smile haunts me. Why I've spent 3 days having you followed, learning everything about you when I should be focusing on a war with the Limps. His hand finally made contact, cupping her face gently. Explain why touching you feels like touching sunlight. Anna's breath caught. She should pull away, should slap him, should quote scripture about avoiding temptation. But his touch was so gentle, so reverent, like she was something precious. I don't understand this, she whispered. Neither do I. His thumb traced her cheekbone. But I know you feel it too. This pull between us. Don't lie to me, Anna. I can see it in your eyes. She did feel it. God help her. She felt it like a hook in her chest, pulling her toward this dangerous man despite every warning bell in her mind. I can't, she said, but didn't move away. My faith, my family, everything I believe in, you're everything I'm supposed to avoid. I know. His voice was rough now, raw with want. I'm poison, Anna. I'm damnation wearing a suit. You should run from me as fast as you can. Then let me go. I can't. The confession seemed torn from him. The moment I saw you, something shifted. You're mine now. I know that's wrong. I know I'm selfish, but I've never been a good man, and I'm not going to start now. He leaned closer, his lips inches from hers. Anna's heart raced. She could feel the heat of his breath, could smell his cologne mixed with something uniquely him. One kiss, he murmured. Give me one kiss, Anna. If you feel nothing, I'll take you home. I'll protect your uncle's church from the shadows, but I'll leave you alone. If you feel something, his eyes burned into hers. Then we stop lying to ourselves. This is wrong. I know. I shouldn't want this. I know. God forgive me, Anna whispered, and closed the distance between them. The kiss was soft at first, tentative. His lips were warm, gentle, treating her like she might shatter. But then something ignited. Anna's hands fisted in his shirt, pulling him closer. His arms wrapped around her waist, lifting her against him. The kiss deepened, became hungry, desperate. Anna had never been kissed before, had never felt a man's hands on her body, never tasted desire like fire in her blood. It was terrifying. It was exhilarating. It was everything her mother warned her about, and everything her body screamed for. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Hyun-jae rested his forehead against hers. Tell me you felt nothing, he said. Lie to me and I'll let you go. Anna couldn't. The words wouldn't come because she'd felt everything, and it terrified her more than the guns or the danger or the Mafia war. Before she could respond, the penthouse door burst open. Dae-jung rushed in, his usually composed face tight with urgency. Sir, we have a problem. The Limps just hit one of our warehouses. 3 men dead. And they left a message. Hyun-jae's entire demeanor changed in an instant. The gentle lover vanished, replaced by the cold Mafia boss. What message? They want the girl. They say if you don't hand her over by tomorrow night, they'll burn down Grace Point Community Church. With everyone inside. Anna's blood turned to ice. No. No, no, no. Uncle Gabriel, the congregation, there are children who... They're bluffing, Hyun-jae said, but his jaw was tight. They won't risk that kind of attention from law enforcement. Sir, there's more. Dae-young glanced at Anna, hesitant. We have intel that Pastor Gabriel is being investigated by the FBI for the church donations. They think he's complicit in money laundering. He's not. Anna grabbed Hyun-jae's arm. Please, you have to believe me. He has no idea where that money came from. He'll go to prison for something he didn't do. Hyun-jae looked at her, and for a moment she saw conflict war across his face. Then his expression hardened into resolve. Get our lawyers involved. I want documentation proving Pastor Reeves had no knowledge of the fund's origin. And double the security at the church. Discreet surveillance. Unmarked vehicles. Nobody touches that building or anyone inside it. Sir, that will stretch our resources thin with the war escalating. I don't care. Do it. Dae-jung bowed and left quickly. Anna stared at Hyun-jae. Why are you helping? Because you asked me to. He pulled her close again, his expression softer. Because despite everything, I can't stand the thought of you in pain. I don't understand you. One moment you're threatening to keep me prisoner, the next you're protecting my family. I told you I'm selfish. I want you happy. I want you safe. I want you with me. Those things don't contradict. He kissed her forehead gently. You're staying here tonight. It's not safe for you anywhere else. I can't just disappear. My mother will worry. Uncle Gabriel. I'll have Dae-jung send messages. Work emergency. Staying with a friend. Whatever story you need. His hands framed her face. But you're not leaving my sight until this is resolved. The limbs are desperate, which makes them dangerous. They'll use anyone and anything to hurt me. Then maybe I should. Don't. His voice turned hard. Don't even suggest leaving. I meant what I said, Anna. You're mine now. I'll protect you, your uncle, your entire congregation if I have to, but you don't leave. It should have sounded like a threat. Should have made her afraid. Instead, some dark part of her thrilled at the possessiveness in his voice. There's a guest room, he said, his thumb tracing her bottom lip. You'll stay there tonight. Get some rest. Tomorrow we'll figure this out together. And if I try to leave? His smile was dark. I have 12 men stationed around this building. You wouldn't make it to the elevator. Then his expression softened. But you won't try. Because despite your faith, despite your fear, you want to stay, don't you? Anna's throat tightened. She should say no. Should fight. Should pray for strength. But standing in his arms, still tasting him on her lips, feeling safer than she had in days despite being with the most dangerous man she'd ever met. Yes, she whispered. God help me. Yes. Hyun-jae's smile was triumphant, possessive, and somehow tender all at once. Good girl. He led her to a guest room that was larger than her entire apartment. The bed was enormous, covered in expensive linens. He brought her clean clothes, a t-shirt that would be huge on her, soft pajama pants. Sleep, he said at the door. I have calls to make, plans to adjust, but I'll be right down the hall if you need anything. And Anna, he paused, his eyes intense. Dream of me. Then he was gone, the door closing softly behind him. Anna sat on the edge of the bed, her hands trembling. She should call her mother. Should call Pastor Gabriel. Should call the police. Instead, she pulled out the small Bible from her purse, the one thing the attackers had left her with. She opened it to a random page, looking for guidance, for wisdom, for God's voice telling her what to do. The page fell open to Song of Solomon. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for thy love is better than wine. Anna's hands shook. Was this a sign, a test, a cosmic joke? She didn't know. But as she lay in the expensive bed wearing Hyun-jae's shirt, she couldn't stop touching her lips where he'd kissed her, couldn't stop remembering the way he'd looked at her like she was both salvation and damnation. She was falling into darkness, into forbidden territory, into the arms of a man who dealt in violence and blood. And the most terrifying part? She didn't want to stop. Down the hall, Hyun-jae stood at his window, phone in hand. He'd made calls, given orders, set his empire in motion to protect one innocent girl who'd stumbled into his life. He was fighting a war on two fronts now, against the limps and against himself. Because every instinct told him to lock Anna away, to keep her hidden and safe and his forever. But he'd seen the fear in her eyes when he'd been too possessive, seen her struggle with her faith and her desire. He wanted her willing, wanted her to choose him, darkness and all. "Sir," Dae-young appeared in the doorway. "There's someone here to see you. Says he's a friend of Anna Reeves's. A bodyguard from another organization. Claims he's been watching her independently." Hyun-jae's eyes narrowed. "What organization?" He won't say, but he's armed, skilled, and very insistent. Says his name is Jiwoo Park. "And sir," Dae-young hesitated. "He says Anna's life is in more danger than we realize. There's a third player in this game." Hyun-jae's blood ran cold. "Bring him in." Jiwoo Park was not what Hyun-jae expected. The man who entered his office was young, maybe 28, with sharp features and military posture. He wore tactical clothing under a leather jacket, and the way he moved spoke of extensive combat training. But his eyes were what caught Hyun-jae's attention. They held genuine concern, not the cold calculation of a hired gun. "You have 60 seconds to explain why I shouldn't kill you for stalking what's mine," Hyun-jae said from behind his desk. Jiwoo didn't flinch. "Because I've been protecting her longer than you've known she existed. And because if you kill me, you'll never know about the Yoon family's interest in Anna Reeves." Hyun-jae's expression didn't change, but internally alarm bells rang. The Yoon family was different from the Limps, older, more dangerous, with connections that reached into the highest levels of government both in Korea and the US. "Talk." Jiwoo stepped forward, pulling out a folder. 6 months ago, I was hired by an anonymous client to provide discreet security for Anna. Follow her. Make sure she's safe. Report any threats. I assumed it was an overprotective family member. Then 2 months ago, I discovered my real employer, Yoon Sang-wook. The name sent ice through Hyun-jae's veins. Yoon Sang-wook was the head of the Yoon family, a man so dangerous that even Hyun-jae's father had refused to cross him. Why would Yoon Sang-wook care about a church girl? That's what I've been trying to figure out. Jiwoo opened the folder, revealing photographs. "Look at this." The photo showed a young Korean woman, beautiful, elegant, standing next to a younger Yoon Sang-wook. "This is Yoon's deceased wife, Mi-sun. She died in a car accident 5 years ago." Jiwoo laid another photo next to it. This one showed Anna laughing at the bistro. The resemblance was striking. Same smile, same warm eyes, similar bone structure. "Anna looks like his dead wife," Hyun-jae said slowly. "Not just looks like. Watch this." Jiwoo pulled out his phone, playing a video. It showed Anna singing in church, her voice clear and beautiful, filled with soul and passion. Then Jiwoo played another video. A young Mi-sun Yoon singing at what looked like a wedding. The voice was eerily similar. Yoon Sang-wook has been obsessed with finding a replacement for his wife since she died, Jiwoo explained. He's had people searching for years. When he discovered Anna, the physical resemblance, the voice, even her pure personality, he became fixated. "I was supposed to watch her, make sure she stayed pure and untouched until he was ready to claim her." Hyun-jae's hands clenched into fists. "Claim her." His word, not mine. Jiwoo's expression was grim. "I took the job because the money was good, but the more I watched Anna, the more I realized she's a genuinely good person. She doesn't deserve to be some crime lord's replacement wife. So I've been feeding Yoon false information, buying her time. But after tonight's attack," He's going to know something's changed. He'll know about you. Let him know. You don't understand. Jiwoo leaned forward, urgent. The limbs are dangerous, but they're predictable. Yoon Sang-wook is different. He's patient, methodical, and absolutely ruthless. He once killed an entire family, including the children, because the father disrespected his wife's memory. If he thinks you've ruined his perfect replacement, then he'll come for me. Hyun-jae stood, walking to the window. Good. I'm tired of waiting for threats to materialize. Let them all come. You're insane. Jiwoo shook his head. You've known this girl for 3 days, and you're willing to start a war with the most powerful crime family in California? Hyun-jae turned, his eyes black fire. Yes. The simple answer seemed to stun Jiwoo into silence. Now tell me, Hyun-jae continued, why are you really here? You could have stayed in the shadows, kept collecting Yoon's money. Why reveal yourself? Jiwoo was quiet for a moment. Because Anna deserves to know the truth. And because he seemed to struggle with the words. Because in 6 months of watching her, I've come to care about what happens to her. She's kind to everyone. She gives her last dollar to homeless people. She stays late at the bistro to help Elena close up. She's good, genuinely good, and good people are rare in our world. Are you in love with her? The question was dangerous, loaded. No, Jiwoo said firmly. But I respect her enough to not want to see her become some dead woman's replacement or a mafia boss's trophy. He met Hyun-jae's eyes. No offense. So, what do you propose? Let me help protect her. I know Yoon's organization, his patterns, his people. You know the limbs. Together we might keep her alive long enough to figure a way out of this mess. Hyun-jae studied him for a long moment. Every instinct screamed not to trust this man. But Jiwoo had a point. He knew things about Yoon that could prove valuable. You'll report to Dae-young. You'll follow orders without question. And if I ever see you touch her, look at her the wrong way, or give her any reason to choose you over me, his voice dropped to a deadly whisper. I'll kill you slowly. Jiwoo nodded. Understood. Good. Now get out. I need to think. After Jiwoo left, Hyun-jae poured himself a drink, expensive whiskey that burned going down. 3 criminal organizations circling one innocent girl. The limbs wanting to use her. Yoon wanting to possess her. And him, what did he want? Everything. He wanted everything from Anna Reeves. Her smiles, her faith, her innocence, her passion. He wanted to corrupt her and protect her simultaneously. Wanted to drag her into his darkness while keeping her light intact. It was impossible. Contradictory. Insane. He didn't care. He walked to the guest room, opening the door quietly. Anna was asleep, curled up in his shirt, her Bible clutched to her chest. She looked peaceful, beautiful, utterly out of place in his violent world. Hyun-jae sat in a chair by the bed, watching her sleep, guarding her like a dragon guards treasure. She was his. The whole world could burn first. Anna woke to sunlight streaming through unfamiliar windows. For a moment, she forgot where she was. Then it all came rushing back. The kiss, the threats, Hyun-jae's possessive declaration. She sat up quickly, heart pounding. Someone had left clothes on a chair, designer jeans that would probably fit perfectly, a soft cashmere sweater, even underwear still in packaging. The thoughtfulness was both touching and unnerving. After showering in the luxurious bathroom, Anna dressed and ventured out. The penthouse was quiet except for voices coming from the kitchen. She found Hyun-jae cooking. He stood at the stove wearing black slacks and a white button-down with the sleeves rolled up, preparing what smelled like Korean breakfast. He moved with easy confidence, completely at home in this domestic setting. You cook, Anna said from the doorway. He turned and his face transformed when he saw her. Good morning. I hope you slept well. His eyes traveled over her appreciatively. The clothes fit. How did you know my size? I know everything about you. Remember? He plated the food. Rice, kimchi, eggs, grilled fish. Sit. You need to eat. I should call my uncle. He'll be worried. Already handled. Dae-jung sent a message saying you're staying with a friend from the choir convention. Perfectly innocent. He set a plate in front of her. Eat first, then we'll discuss what happens next. The food was delicious, which somehow made everything more surreal. Here she was, having breakfast with a mafia boss who cooked, in his penthouse, wearing clothes he'd bought her, after kissing him last night like her life depended on it. This is crazy, she said aloud. Yes, Hyun-jae agreed, sitting across from her with his own plate. But it's our crazy now. There is no R. There's you, your criminal empire, and me trying to survive until I can go back to my normal life. You think you can go back? He set down his chopsticks, his expression serious. Anna, 3 different organizations are interested in you now. The LIMS because you're connected to me. The FBI because they think you might know about your uncle's church finances. And he paused. And the Yoon family because you remind someone of his dead wife. Anna's fork clattered to her plate. What? He told her everything Ji-woo had revealed. About Yoon Sang-wook, about Mi-sun, about the 6 months of surveillance. With each word, Anna felt her reality crumbling further. This can't be happening, she whispered. I'm nobody. I'm just. You're not nobody. Hyun-jae reached across the table, taking her hand. Not to them, and definitely not to me. So, what am I supposed to do? Hide forever? Let you fight wars over me? Watch people die because I walked into the wrong hotel room? Yes to the first, gladly to the second. His grip tightened. And as for the third, people were going to die anyway. Anna, this is my world. Violence, war, death, it was always coming. You didn't cause this. You're just caught in the middle. Then let me go. Let me disappear. I can leave San Francisco. Change my name. They'd find you. His voice was hard. Yoon has resources that make mine look like pocket change. The LIMS are desperate enough to chase you across the country. And his eyes burned into hers. I would tear the world apart to find you. So no, you're not running. You're staying with me where I can protect you. That's not protection. That's imprisonment. Call it what you want. He stood, pulling her up with him. But understand this, Anna Reeves. I've made my choice. You're mine. I'll protect your uncle, your church, your family. I'll fight 3 criminal empires if I have to. But you don't leave. You can't just decide that. I already have. She should be terrified. Should hate him for his arrogance, his possessiveness, his complete disregard for her autonomy. But looking into his eyes, she saw something else beneath the dominance. Desperation. Fear. Need. He was afraid of losing her. Why? She whispered. Why me? You could have anyone. Any woman would fall at your feet. Why does it have to be me? Hyun-jae cupped her face with both hands, his touch achingly gentle. Because when I look at you, I see everything I've lost. Every choice I could have made differently, every good thing I destroyed on my way to power. His voice roughened. You make me want to be better, and I hate you for it, and I need you because of it. That's not love, Anna said, but her voice shook. That's obsession. Perhaps. He leaned his forehead against hers. But it's all I have to offer. My protection, my resources, my obsession. Take it or leave it, but don't lie and say you feel nothing. He was right. God help her, he was right. She felt the pull between them like gravity, like magnetism, like something written in her bones. Before she could respond, Dae-jung burst into the kitchen. Sir, we have a situation. Pastor Reeves just called a press conference. He's going public about the church donations and demanding a federal investigation. The LIMS are moving to silence him. We have intel about a hit scheduled for noon today. That's 20 minutes from now. Anna's blood turned to ice. Uncle Gabriel. Get the cars, Hyun-jae ordered Dae-jung. Then to Anna. Where is this press conference? Outside the church. Her voice broke. Please, you have to save him. I'll do anything. Just please. I know. He kissed her forehead quickly. Stay here. I'll bring him back safe. No. Anna grabbed his arm. I'm coming with you. Absolutely not. It's too dangerous. He's my uncle. My family. I'm not sitting here while. Anna, please. Tears streamed down her face. Please don't make me stay behind. I need to be there. I need to see he's okay. Please, Hyun-jae. It was the first time she'd used his given name. The sound of it on her lips seemed to break something in him. Fine. But you stay in the car with Jiwoo. No arguments. Jiwoo? Your guardian angel. Hyun-jae was already moving, grabbing his jacket, checking his gun. The bodyguard who's been watching you. He's working for me now. And Anna, he turned at the door. If anything goes wrong, Jiwoo will get you out. You listen to him. Understand? Promise me. I promise. They rushed out together into an SUV where Jiwoo Park was already waiting. The drive to the church felt like it took hours, though it was only minutes. As they approached, Anna could see the small crowd gathered: reporters, church members, curious onlookers. Pastor Gabriel stood on the church steps, microphone in hand, looking older and more tired than she'd ever seen him. Complete investigation into all donations received by Grace Point Community Church, he was saying. I had no knowledge of any illegal activity, but if my church has been used to hurt people, I take full responsibility. There. Jiwoo pointed to a car parked across the street. 2 men inside. Gun barrels visible. Hyun-jae was on his phone immediately, speaking rapid Korean. More SUVs appeared, blocking the street. His men poured out, moving with military precision toward the shooter's car. It happened fast. The car's windows shattered as Hyun-jae's men opened fire. Return fire erupted. People screamed. Pastor Gabriel dove behind the church steps. Stay down. Jiwoo pulled Anna low in her seat. But through the chaos, Anna saw something that made her heart stop. A third man, separate from everyone else, was climbing the church roof with a sniper rifle. He was aiming at Pastor Gabriel's hiding spot. Uncle Gabriel! Anna screamed, but no one could hear her over the gunfire. Without thinking, she threw open the car door and ran. Anna, no! Jiwoo lunged for her, but she was already gone. She ran toward the church, screaming her uncle's name, waving her arms. The sniper's aim shifted, tracking movement. Tracking her. Anna saw the gun barrel turn toward her. Saw the glint of sunlight on metal. Time slowed to a crawl. Then someone slammed into her from the side, driving her to the ground. The bullet meant for her heart whistled through the space where she'd been standing and struck the church wall. Anna looked up into Hyun-jae's face. He'd tackled her, covered her body with his own. His eyes blazed with fury and fear. You promised, he growled. You promised to stay in the car. The sniper, Uncle Gabriel, is being handled. He pulled her to her feet, keeping himself between her and the rooftop. Dae-young, get her out of here. Now. But Dae-young was already down, bleeding from his shoulder. Jiwoo appeared instead, grabbing Anna's arm. Come on. The next few minutes were chaos. Jiwoo dragged Anna back to the SUV while Hyun-jae's men engaged the shooters. More police sirens wailed in the distance. The sniper was taken down. Anna heard the body fall from the roof with a sickening thud. And then Hyun-jae was there, sliding into the SUV beside her, blood on his knuckles and murder in his eyes. Drive, he ordered Jiwoo. As they sped away, Anna saw Pastor Gabriel being helped into an ambulance. Alive. Conscious. Safe. She burst into tears. He's okay, Hyun-jae said, pulling her against his chest. You're okay. Everyone's okay. I almost died. You almost died. Dae-young. We'll be fine. Flesh wound. He tilted her face up, his expression fierce. But you almost died because you broke your promise. Because you're brave and selfless and completely insane. I had to. I know. He kissed her then. Hard and desperate and claiming. I know. And it's going to drive me crazy, but I wouldn't change it. Wouldn't change you. Anna kissed him back, tasting fear and adrenaline and something deeper. Something that felt dangerously like love. When they broke apart, she whispered, "What happens now?" Now Hyun-jae's smile was dark. "Now we go to war." The limps just declared themselves. "Yoon will make his move soon. And he tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. "I keep you safe no matter what it costs. I'm in this now, aren't I? Really in it?" "Yes. No going back." "No going back," she confirmed. Anna leaned against his chest, feeling his heartbeat steady and strong. Her faith said to run. Her common sense screamed danger. Her family would be horrified. But wrapped in Hyun-jae's arms, she felt something she'd never expected to feel with a man like him. She felt safe. God forgive her. She felt home. But as the night deepens, new shadows rise and the price of every choice begins to unfold. Will Yoon Sang-wook get her? How will Anna's mother react when she discovers the truth? And the hardest question of all, has Anna completely chosen darkness over light?